Oklahoma voters are going to make some critical choices come November, selecting a new governor, new congressman, new attorney general.
But there's reason to believe the most critical vote we cast in November will be on a state ballot measure, State Question 744. Tonight, our Oklahoma Impact team looks at just how big the stakes are. Here's Alex Cameron.
State Question 744 is about making education a budget priority in Oklahoma. It would amend the state constitution so that the amount of money the state spends on each pre-K through 12 student is at least as much as the average of what our neighboring states are spending on their students.
When it comes to Oklahoma schools, our kids are at the back of the line. We rank 49th in the country in per pupil spending.
According to the National Center for Education Statistics, Oklahoma spends just over $8,000 a year per student, $1,600 less than the regional average.
You know, you hear no money, no money, no money, and you just kind of deal with it.
Heather Beecham is a second-grade teacher in Moore. She says the spending disparity puts Oklahoma teachers at a disadvantage, and that puts Oklahoma students at a disadvantage.
Last year, I didn't have reading textbooks till the middle of the school year. You have to make do with what you have, and you do, but it would really benefit the kids if we do have those resources out there for them to use.
Denicia Robinson wants the best for her third-grade son. She says passing 744 is critically important. She says it's the only way to guarantee education is the state's top priority.
It's not just about my son, it's about all the children in the state. I believe that they all deserve a quality education. They deserve the funding to provide resources to allow them to get the best education possible.
In my mind, there should absolutely be no debate about whether we need to increase funding for public education. We absolutely do.
But Governor Brad Henry, Oklahoma's so-called education governor, says passing 744 is not the answer.
Simply put, State Question 744 is just the wrong way to go about it.
Henry and other opponents of 744 say its cost is too high.
Remember, syllabus is what?
35% of this year's state budget, $2.4 billion, is going to Common Ed. According to the nonpartisan Oklahoma Policy Institute, phasing in the new spending mandate would mean adding $392 million to that next year, $415 million the following year, and close to $900 million the third year.
One Oklahoma Coalition, this is Stephanie.
And because the measure provides no new funding source, those determined to stop 744 say those extra dollars would have to come from either a large tax increase or from large cuts to other state agencies.
We're talking about major cuts across every area of state government and really reshaping how state government operates, and not in a good way.
The reality is that State Question 744 does not call for a tax increase, nor does it call for cuts to any other state agencies.
The Yes on 744 campaign says the cost could be covered by eliminating government waste and through growth revenue as the economy rebounds. But many are unconvinced.
I feel that it's going to bankrupt the state.
Hank Swearingen's a construction maintenance worker for DHS in Lawton. He says he supports education, but not to this extent, when it could jeopardize his own future. If 744 were to pass, what do you think it could do to your job?
Well, I think there's a very, very strong possibility that my facility and my job could be cut.
This may be the most important state question that we've faced in at least 20 years.
So important that the governor agreed last week to lead the campaign to defeat 744. Both sides are waging intense ad campaigns, and both are trying to discredit the other based on who's funding their campaigns. The anti-744 group points out that most of the pro-744 money has come from out of state, from the teachers union, while the pro-744 camp says the No campaign is being funded by business interests and others with a vested interest in maintaining the status quo. For Oklahoma Impact, I'm Alex Cameron.
So we want to know, what do you think about State Question 744? Do you think education is underfunded in Oklahoma and this is the solution? Or do you think this is the wrong thing to do? You can go to news9.com/Oklahoma Impact to vote in our poll.